The inner child is a profound concept that intertwines psychology, neuroscience, and spiritual philosophy. It reflects the idea that we grow not as a single identity, but through layers of experiences, many of which remain unresolved within us. In psychology, particularly in trauma studies, the inner child represents early developmental imprints formed during childhood. During this time, our emotional brain dominates, leading us to interpret experiences in absolute and often distorted ways. These interpretations crystallize into subconscious beliefs and behavioral patterns that persist into adulthood, manifesting as emotional triggers and relational dynamics. Attachment theory reveals how early caregiver interactions shape our capacity for intimacy and trust, showing the inner child as a living blueprint of relational memory. Neuroscience supports this by explaining how traumatic experiences are encoded as both explicit memories and implicit body responses. The amygdala can become hypersensitive due to early stress, causing adults to react disproportionately to situations that remind them of past wounds. Healing the inner child involves integrating various subpersonalities within us, particularly the vulnerable parts that hold pain and unmet needs. From a spiritual perspective, the inner child aligns with the concept of samskaras, deep impressions stored within our mind and body. Witnessing these patterns with compassionate awareness allows suppressed emotions to surface and dissolve. Energy healing approaches, like Reiki, view the inner child as an aspect of the self that can become fragmented due to trauma. Techniques such as guided regression and ritualistic healing aim to reintegrate these fragments. Inner child healing is a holistic process that addresses psychological, physiological, and energetic dimensions. It begins with awareness of present emotional patterns, followed by connecting with earlier experiences and reparenting the self. This ongoing process requires consistency and a willingness to confront discomfort. The true measure of healing is not just emotional release, but a gradual shift towards greater emotional regulation and authentic connection. Inner child healing bridges ancient wisdom and modern science, allowing individuals to reclaim agency over their thoughts, feelings, and actions, restoring a sense of wholeness. Beyond the psychological, energetic, and spiritual frameworks already discussed, the inner child must also be understood as a pattern-generating mechanism, almost like a silent architect operating beneath conscious awareness. It does not merely store memories, it interprets reality continuously, filtering present experiences through past imprints. This means that what a person perceives as truth in their current life is often nothing more than a repetition of an early emotional conclusion. For example, a child who once felt abandoned may not consciously remember the original event, yet in adulthood, they will interpret neutral situations as rejection, react defensively, and unknowingly recreate the very pattern they fear. This is why inner child healing is not just about emotional release, it is about dismantling perceptual distortions that shape one's lived reality. In deeper therapeutic and occult understanding, the psyche develops adaptive masks or protector mechanisms around the wounded child. These are often misidentified as personality traits, overconfidence, emotional numbness, excessive independence, chronic caretaking, but in truth, they are defensive structures designed to prevent the original wound from being felt again. The tragedy is that these protectors, while necessary in childhood, become restrictive in adulthood, limiting intimacy, creativity, and authentic expression. Thus, healing does not involve attacking or removing these defenses, but rather negotiating with them, understanding their role, and slowly allowing them to relax as the inner child begins to feel safe. This dynamic is crucial because without addressing these protectors, any attempt to access the inner child will be resisted by the very system designed to protect it. From a neurobiological standpoint, repeated inner child work begins to alter neural pathways and emotional regulation circuits. When an individual revisits a painful memory while simultaneously experiencing safety, compassion, and control, the brain undergoes a process similar to memory reconsolidation, where the original emotional charge associated with that memory is updated. Over time, this reduces the intensity of triggers and allows the individual to respond from the present moment rather than from past conditioning. This is why consistency in such practices is essential. One session may create awareness, but repeated engagement creates rewiring. In occult and esoteric traditions, there is also the concept of soul fragmentation, where intense emotional experiences cause parts of one's energy or consciousness to become stuck in certain moments. While modern psychology may interpret this symbolically, these traditions treat it as an actual energetic phenomenon, suggesting that reclaiming these fragments restores vitality, creativity, and a sense of wholeness. Rituals, guided visualizations, and intentional practices are often used to call back these aspects, but their effectiveness depends entirely on the individual's ability to emotionally connect with the experience rather than merely perform it mechanically. Another layer often overlooked is the relationship between the inner child and time perception. The inner child does not exist in linear time. It exists in an eternal present, meaning that unresolved emotions are not stored as past events, but as ongoing experiences. This is why a small trigger in adulthood can produce an overwhelming emotional response. It is not a reaction to the present moment alone, but a reactivation of an entire emotional state that has never been completed. Understanding this shifts the approach to healing. Instead of trying to move on from the past, one must complete what was left incomplete, allowing the emotional cycle to resolve fully. There is also a subtle but powerful connection between inner child wounds and identity formation. Many people build their sense of self around coping mechanisms developed in childhood, being the strong one, the good one, the invisible one, or the achiever. These identities, while functional, are inherently limiting because they are rooted in survival rather than authenticity. Inner child healing, therefore, often leads to a phase of identity dissolution, where familiar roles and self-concepts begin to break down. This can feel disorienting, even threatening, because the individual is no longer anchored in their usual way of being. However, this phase is essential for the emergence of a more integrated and authentic self. From a spiritual evolution perspective, inner child healing is closely tied to the concept of self-realization. Many traditions suggest that enlightenment or higher awareness is not achieved by adding something new, but by removing layers of conditioning that obscure one's true nature. The inner child represents one of the earliest layers of this conditioning, and by bringing awareness and compassion to it, one gradually dissolves the unconscious patterns that limit perception. In this sense, inner child work is not separate from spiritual growth, it is a practical pathway into it. Yet, a final and often uncomfortable truth must be acknowledged. Not everyone truly wants to heal their inner child. Many prefer the familiarity of their patterns, even when those patterns cause suffering, because they provide a sense of identity and predictability. Healing requires a willingness to step into uncertainty, to question deeply held beliefs, and to relinquish the comfort of familiar pain. It is not a gentle process, it is precise, sometimes disruptive, and often humbling. Ultimately, inner child healing is not about fixing something that is broken, but about restoring connection to a part of oneself that was never meant to be abandoned. It is a process of reclaiming lost sensitivity, authenticity, and emotional truth, while simultaneously developing the strength and awareness to hold those qualities without being overwhelmed by them. When approached with sincerity and depth, it becomes more than a therapeutic technique. It becomes a lifelong dialogue between the past and the present, where each moment offers an opportunity to respond not from old wounds but from conscious choice.